Coming up on today's One More Thing of Locked On Mavs, I'm going to tell you why the Mavs should sign D'Angelo Russell at the start of free agency.
Stop it! Stop! The number one pick will go to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg will fly in Dallas.
Dogs, all of us, all five.
You are Locked On Mavs, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm gonna get a city like that.
You are locked on the Dallas Mavericks. This is a One More Thing, an extra show over the weekend. I'm one of your co-hosts, Isaac Harris, covering the Mavs for the last 10 seasons, alongside my good friend, Nick Angstead. Dropping a little bonus pod over the weekend, mainly because my wife is out of town. I'm on kid duty the whole weekend. So Friday night consisted of staying at home, getting the kids in bed, and I watched my friend Mike's interview on the Dumb Zone. That was a good hour. Good show. Recommend that. And then I watched an embarrassingly amount of D'Angelo Russell and did probably too much research on Russell because I was like, you know what? I seen the Stein report. They've been angling, for a guy like him, especially once Kyrie signed his deal. And I was like, all right, let me have a firm opinion on this, right? Like, I feel like I got to have a firm D'Angelo Russell opinion because for a while now, I haven't been the biggest D-Lo guy. I will say that. There's a lot of stuff about his style of play that I typically, I'm not a big fan of. This is why I wasn't a big Christian Wood guy when we traded for him, and a lot of people slam me for that because I was just like, don't sign him long term. I just wasn't about it. So I haven't been like a big Zach LaVine guy. Kind of like the bucket getters, hey, the offense comes natural to them, but like the effort's inconsistent, or like there's no defense at times, and I'm like, I don't know what to really do with it. But I went back to the drawing table and I was like, all right, I want to know how I feel about D'Angelo Russell. And I think the Mavs should sign him. This is where I'm at. I will zag on what I know. A lot of people feel like that D'Lo is not the answer or not the right signing for the Mavs, and I'm going to zag on it because you know what? Maybe I stayed up too late on Friday night researching D'Lo stuff for me to talk myself into it. Maybe I was watching The Agency on Paramount, so I'll admit. All right. Maybe I stayed up too long and I just got delirious, but I gave it a day and I still feel the same way. So let's talk it through. Kyrie signs his deal with Dallas, his new deal with Dallas. It's that 2+1 deal we've been talking about. He signs it under a certain amount there in that first year to open up the taxpayer mid-level exception, which is around that $5.7 million. And we've been talking, it's like, hey, now you have a little bit extra. You have more than what the minimum would be to go after a Chris Paul or a Malcolm Brogdon or try to convince a guy like a D'Angelo Russell, who's been making a lot more money annually, to take that big of a pay cut to say, hey, this is the selling point. I mean, I think it's like the best free agent point guard situation you could possibly think of a win now team playing with all these pieces, and you're going to get to start for a lot of the season. And so it's like, all right, well, what type of player are you going to get? What's the market looking like for the point guard spot? You obviously need a point guard to fill in until Kyrie comes back. Who can you get to take that 5.7? So you start looking around. It's like, yes, Chris Paul, I think would be an option number one. I think for a lot of us, it's like Chris Paul signing, even though he's older, and some of you might be yelling in the comments like he's so old and like all this stuff. Dude, he played 82 games last year. Okay. I get it. I get that he's older. But still, I think he would have been a great fit. I think I've been saying this whole time, I think he's going to LA. So then it's like, all right, well, who do you want? Do you want like a Malcolm Brogdon? Do you want to go the vet men route? I'm not like all out on Brogdon, but it's like, I don't know, like health wise with him. I don't know what you're like fully getting. I'm not all out. Let me just say that. But I'm not like all in either. Do you just want to run it back with like the guys you had last year? Dinwiddie, Exum, Brandon Williams? Because right now all you have is Brandon Williams. And outside of, you obviously drafted or signed Ryan Nembhard, which is a great signing, two-way guy, a lot of fun. But if you start your season with Brandon Williams and Ryan Nembhard, I don't think that's the right move to go for where you're trying to go as a team. And we know, in the words of Nico, we're win now, baby. That Nico vision is tough, man. It's good. It's good. So this is where I circle back to D'Angelo Russell and I say, hey, $5.7 million, what they need from that spot, I think more than anything is a playmaker, is a creator, until Kyrie comes back, and then somebody can come off the bench and buy into that role also. And guys, I think they should sign D'Angelo Russell. D'Lo is, this is funny because I've taken my fair share of shots at D'Lo over the time, but I honestly think it would work. He's 29 years old, 6'3", from Louisville, and maybe that's playing a part in this, that I'm a little biased with that. I have some friends and stuff back home that speaks very highly of Camp D'Lo, and this is a camp he goes back in the offseason. He's been very invested into the city of Louisville, so I'm very appreciative of that. I will always champion that Louisville, Kentucky should be an NBA city. I will always, you will never convince me otherwise. I have a lot of research to back that up, so I will fight you if you don't think Louisville should be. I'm just kidding. I'm not, take that as a joke, guys. He's another Montverde vet or alum, if that matters a lot to you there, but where's he's at in his career? So he has hopped around, right? Like, I mean, two teams in his career. He's played for twice now, the Lakers and Nets, two different stints. While also playing for Minnesota. He's made $175 million in his career. He's the second overall pick back, what was that, like 3 years before Luka? So you're looking at like that 2015 range through there. And I get it. I want to say this off the top. I get all the knocks against D'Lo. I get that you can throw out, hey, he wears out his welcome, because you can look at it and say, hey, he was drafted by the Lakers second overall. He lasts 2 years on the Lakers as the second overall pick. And Magic Johnson's like, hey, I'm sending you to Brooklyn. So he goes to the Nets. And then, it's 3 years after that, or 2 years after that, the Nets, now I get it. You can't blame him on this one. They use him. He does the sign and trade to get Kevin Durant to come to Brooklyn. That's when Kyrie went to Brooklyn. So that's when he gets his massive contract. Hats off to him. Get the bag. So he gets signed and traded to Golden State. Then he gets traded to the Wolves a year later. Then he gets traded. He spends Minnesota 3 years, big tenure there. Goes back to the Lakers 3 years after that, and then a year after that he gets traded from the Lakers back to Brooklyn on that expiring contract, making around $18.6 million last year. So I get it. You can look at those outside of the Nets that first time. You can look at it and say it because they picked KD over him. Hey, like he's there for a couple seasons in these places, and then they want to like ship him off. I get it. You can sit there and say, even in that Western Conference Finals run that he was a part of, he has 32 playoff games, which I think is a plus. He has the playoff experience, but I get it. Throw at me that in the playoffs, his numbers have went down. He is kind of folded in the big moments. I get it. And especially in that Western Conference Finals series against Denver that year, I get that. All right. You can throw that at me. I can get the effort, right? I mean, we were just a year ago in which he gets benched by JJ Redick. And Redick says publicly it was his level of compete, and it was his attention to detail that JJ Redick said of why he got benched in that game. And D'Lo was super professional about it, but this is a coach saying publicly, this is why you got benched as a vet. That's kind of embarrassing, but it's been kind of true and stuff in his career. And you could say, hey, the movement at times, the ball movement, hey, it kind of sticks with him. And I know some of you are like, dude, you're giving me all these reasons not to sign him. I'm just being honest of why at times in the past that I haven't been the biggest D'Lo fan, but why I think it can work in Dallas, and I want them to sign him because of some reasons coming up. And I'm going to give you these reasons, and then hopefully I can make my case a little bit more convincing there, because I've kind of done the full 180 on it, and I really want him in Dallas now. And I could come back to bite my words on that. eat my words on that? Yes. What would it be a podcast with me if I didn't mess up a saying? But let's take a quick break. This podcast is brought to you by our friends at Skims. Guys, when I found out Skims was making underwear for men, I was intrigued. I have a couple pairs. They sent me a couple pairs in the mail. Love them. I've since got some more. It's like, hey, I think they're opening up at like a brick and mortar store like I'm super happy about in Dallas. Heard about them. Thought they were all women's before, but now they have men's stuff and it's amazing. So yeah, I'm all about it. If somebody wants to buy me a pair and send them to me, I'd be down. I've not always had issues with underwear, but I love these. So shop Skims men's at skims.com. Let them know that we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop down menu that follows. They have so many different options on there, honestly, guys. And now I have like 4 different options of Skims. So Kim Kardashian, yes, if you go to the website or look them up, you're like, is this the right thing for men's? Yes, it is. It's the same company. Go buy you some. This podcast is also brought to you by our friends at Game Time. It's brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Guys, have you ever decided last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Nick is at a ball game right now, a Wings game in Dallas. Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands. That's exactly where Game Time comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. With the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch. You got time to get something to eat. Chris Arnold, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Game Time makes it possible. Guys, whenever I buy ticket stuff, I get so dang frustrated at some of these fees and all the different, like, it gets so complicated. And Game Time makes it so easy. They're the official ticketing partner of Locked On MLB, making it easy to browse the app for exciting upcoming MLB game. Rangers, they had a big win today, so you can get some Ranger tickets coming up. Game Time is last minute tickets and zone deals on big savings like 10% off. Exclusive zone deals for a FIFA Club World Cup matchups. I am so excited for the FIFA World Cup, by the way. So Game Time is going to be put into action for that. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Sorry, I was taking a drink of water. My voice is killing me right now. So I'm not purposely trying to do a low voice here, but it's been going out a little bit. But I sold myself on D'Angelo Russell. All right. Because I think when you look at the options, you look at even like a guy like Russell Westbrook. I think Bobby, a good friend Bobby, did a thing the other day, and he's like pro Westbrook over D'Lo. And I get for a lot of the reasons Bobby likes Westbrook. I'm down for it. I like kidding him now that he's like the biggest Westbrook stan ever. For me personally, I think the playmaking of D'Angelo Russell and the shot making of D'Angelo Russell means more to me than like the athleticism effort of a Russell Westbrook for the role that they're signing him at that type of contract. I get it. I get what you're getting with Westbrook as far as like the effort and the tenacity and all the crazy stuff. I get that. But a few of the things that D'Angelo Russell is really good at, he's a really good passer. All right. D'Lo, I get it. He's kind of like this crafty, kind of slow-mo at times, lefty. But he is a really good passer and a really good playmaker. And I am down for that. I get the ball stops in his hands at times, but when he is running an offense and he's bought into it, he is a really, really dang good passer. Even in transition stuff, he has good numbers across the boards with that. You look at his assist numbers over the years. I mean, I think he's like a career 21-7. No, not career 21-7. You go back to Luka's rookie season. That was the year he was an all-star. And he averaged 21 points a game, 7 assists. He was on that playoff team in Brooklyn. They lost in the first round. You know who was a teammate of his on that Brooklyn team that in the year that he was an all-star and they made the playoffs? Jared Dudley. Yes, him and Jared Dudley played together. They played in 81 games. D'Lo did that year, by the way. And reminder, like I said earlier, it's 32 career playoff games. So he has playoff experience. He's been there, done that a little bit in the playoffs. But so he's a good playmaker, right? He can get some assists. He can set some people up. He can get into the paint, kick it out. I would say Russ is probably a better penetrator. Weird word, I know. But D'Lo can get into the paint. He can play make, and he can pass really, really well. And I think I like that more. I think he's better at that than a guy like a Westbrook or a Brogdon, or even like a guy like Dante Exum, which I hope they bring back. But if that's your answer, I think we have a problem. So I think he's one of the best playmakers, passers left on the market, or going to be out there on the market for this taxpayer mid-level. And you look at the guys around him, that's what they need, right? Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis, PJ Washington, Klay Thompson, Lively. Like, a lot of these guys are what we've been saying, play finishers, right? We need some guys to set them up. We need some good passers. And that's where I think D'Lo could come into play with that. The other thing, when you miss a guy like Kyrie, you're missing his offense too. And I get they were getting Cooper Flagg in there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. He's going to have the ball in his hands. We know it, Jason Kidd. But D'Lo is a really dang good scorer too, and they're going to need some offense. And this is his bread and butter, right? He's a crafty, savvy offensive player. He's been a really good 3-point shooter up until last year. He's been a really, really good 3-point shooter. Last year, he split his time there with the Lakers and then Nets, and then didn't finish out the season there, injury stuff. But he's been a really good 3-point shooter. So if you're looking at guys you start looking at catch and shoot numbers, 42% last year on catch and shoot shots, 1.25 points per possession in that Lakers year. Last year was so funky. I went back to the 2 years ago in which he played really, really well for the Lakers. And that's where it's like, dude, the dude can knock down shots. If you want to play him off the ball, he has experience playing off the ball. He played off the ball for a couple seasons there in Minnesota, playing off Ricky Rubio. Shout out Ricky Rubio on the pod. But it's like, he has some experience playing off the ball. He's a great catch and shoot shooter. I think he's a good offensive player. I think he's a good playmaker, passer. And I just think that means more than what some of these other guys can bring. And it's not like you're handed him a contract that he's used to be getting. Like, you're talking about $5.7 million this year for D'Angelo Russell. I just think sometimes we're overthinking it for the talent of that. And, I get it. The effort stuff, it can get frustrating at times. So you're like, Isaac, why is it going to be different in Dallas? I can't guarantee you that. What I can tell you is he has so many connections in Dallas. When you start looking at the Jared Dudley connection, he has played for Dudley as a coach. He has played with Dudley as a teammate. He respects Dudley a lot. D'Lo has a podcast and stuff that I listen to with him and Jared Dudley and stuff. That was really good, really incredible basketball talk and stuff. Obviously, he's been teammates with Anthony Davis. The Jason Kidd connection too from LA and stuff. So, and you look at this point in his career too, I think it was Ian Begley from New York that was saying that, hey, Russell, he reported back in March, like, Russell wants to play like the vet mentor role in Brooklyn. He was open to coming back and kind of embracing this leadership role in Brooklyn. And I don't know if you know this, Brooklyn just drafted 1 million point guards, and they're just not going to have space for him. That's not where they're going to be at in their career as far as they're going to suck next year, but they're going to play a bunch of their young guys, and they should do that. So you're like, all right, where's D'Lo going to go? And this is where I just think Dallas can fit, man. Like, if you're D'Angelo Russell, an unrestricted free agent, Dallas has this spot to say, hey, we'll give you $5.5 million. Come in, be the starting point guard for us until Kyrie comes back. Kyrie's going to have that spot when Kyrie comes back. He knows that. And then come off the bench for us. Be our sixth man. Run this second unit. We have all these connections, which I hope Dudley stays. I really, really hope Dudley stays. I'm going to be really bummed because there's multiple teams chasing him now to be an assistant coach for their teams. Let's not do the Sweeney thing, and let's step up to the plate here and keep Jared Dudley, because that would make me feel even better about a D'Angelo Russell signing. So it's like a combination for me of what is out there, the price, and the player. that I think makes this situation for D'Angelo Russell in Dallas a good fit. I could come back to eat my words, but I'm down. I'm down for it. I think we should sign D'Angelo Russell and make him the point guard on day one and have him come off the bench when Kyrie comes back. I've talked myself into it. I'll plant my flag on it. Let's make D'Angelo Russell a Dallas Maverick. All right. That's that. That's a little one more thing. And let me know in the comments if you disagree, agree. I'm sure you are already. And guys, don't throw at me the phone taping thing either. This was because I feel like that has never left D'Angelo Russell's like character or like talking about him. The situation in LA, he was his rookie season. He tapes with his phone, Nick Young, without Nick Young knowing, posted, all this stuff. And it was a super shady. The locker room started isolating him out and all the different things. That was so many years ago. And even him, and I've watched different recent interviews and stuff, how he's referenced him as a young kid. Shout out to my kid behind me. Wow. What are the odds of that? Of how immature and young he was back in his early days in LA and how dumb he was, and how much he's matured and stuff since then. I just don't hold that against him now. It feels like he's learned from that. Feels like he's gotten better and stuff with that. So, hey, question, bud. Come here. Should the Mavericks sign D'Angelo Russell? Yes or no? No? All right. Well, there you go. Looks like if you're in the chat, you either side with me or you side with my son.
What was it?
No, it's a player named D'Angelo Russell. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's one more thing. I will be back tomorrow night with another Locked On Mavs, talking a lot more other things. Peace out. Go to bed. Bed. Go.